Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It's Dillon James right here on JDF Sports, Out of Bounds with Dillon James. This evening I have Tyler Sorensen and Alex Handley joining me, and we are here to discuss everything that's been happening in the offseason so far. We've been away for a few weeks. We've been taking a break. We are fully recharged. We are ready to talk about NFL football heading into the 2025-26 season. A lot's been going on in OTAs. OTAs just ended. We are now in a 5-week lull until we get into training camp, and then we get into the preseason, and then we get into the regular season. So very, very soon we will have NFL football on our television sets once again. But until then, we just had the Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, 2-time winning team, win the cup last night. So we have no more hockey. Basketball is wrapping up too. The Thunder and the Pacers are playing tomorrow night, I believe, without Tyrese Halliburton, mind you, I believe, for the
Game time
Pacers.
decision.
Well, he had an MRI today, I believe, and I mean, obviously they're going to try to get him out there if they can, but they got to look at the long-term health of Tyrese Halliburton as well. They don't want to necessarily wreck him for next season, so that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But that's wrapping up. Only thing we're seeing now is the College Baseball World Series, happening in Omaha currently. So that's the only thing that's going to be on TV for the next week or so. And then after that, it's just baseball.
Golf.
So,
we get golf every weekend.
I mean, do we watch golf here?
I do. I watch it.
I don't.
I love having it on.
If you're
Also,
in the
the
chat
UFL
already,
ended.
I would love to hear who actually watches golf live on television. It's so boring to me. So boring. I mean, I guess you can also say that MLS, you could possibly watch MLS. The Nashville SC is playing really well this year, apparently. They've been playing really well over the past 9-10 games. So there's a plug there. But, I mean, I don't know. Golf, to me, it's just not entertaining. I don't want to hear a bunch of guys whispering for 5+ hours.
I felt the same way as you did, and then I took a bunch of golf lessons, started actually playing golf, and like once I understood a little bit more of what I was seeing and understood how incredible, like how impressive some of the things that they're doing out there are, and like with the consistency that in which they do it with, that was when I started really enjoying watching it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate golf. I appreciate what they do. I appreciate the athletes they are. And I do understand it is a very hard sport to play. However, it's still, for me, it's like watching paint dry on television. I cannot do it because there's so much downtime in between holes. The guys that are commentating, they're just not adding anything to me. Alex Pieper joining the chat saying it's also a hard sport for Dillon to play. It is correct. We have played several rounds of golf, Alex and I, and not very good over here. There are a few holes, though, that I did best, Alex, at the Vinnie Links here in Nashville. So, and also at the Disney courses, too. But Magnolia, is that the one we played at, Alex? Magnolia, I believe. Anyway, yeah, golf for me, I'm just not an avid viewer of golf. And Alex affirms, yes, it was Magnolia. Anyway, Tyler, what you been up to? How's work?
Work is work. It's work. It's more work. This Sunday is the Ironman in Rockford, so I will be getting to work at 5 a.m. and doing that instead of my normal 9 a.m. So I'm going to be doing an all-nighter because I've been helping out with the Racine Raiders, which is a local semi-pro team back home in Racine, Kenosha area. They're doing their week 8 this week, 5-2. So games on Saturday. We can watch it live if you guys want to. I can send the link in the Discord and all that sort of stuff.
Yes,
I'll be doing color commentary for it. Yeah, it's been fun. Just working every day of my life, and it doesn't feel like June, by the way. That's the one thing I do gotta say about it, is it doesn't feel like June. It feels like I just started this job like 2 weeks ago. But
well, I don't know about you guys, but the weather here in Tennessee has not, up until this point, hasn't felt like summer at all. I have not had the summer vibes at all in
I think it's
Tennessee
rained
so far.
12 days straight here in Mississippi.
That's not fun. That's not fun.
It's been very dry here. It's just this is like the first week. Like last week and this week was the first week I actually had my AC going. Like today I had my AC. Today I had my AC on because it was like super hot and humid. And then today it like started downpouring a little bit ago. I turned it off, but like it's finally getting hot. Like this weekend, again going back to Sunday, Iron Man. You know how an Iron Man is, half Iron Man. It's supposed to be 100 degrees. So
yeah, we're
I'm hoping to get at least two. I'm hoping to at least get 2 people vomiting on Sunday. I think.
Oh, you will. Funny. You will. I don't think two is. If I were betting on that, it would be over 2.
And I mean, they swim in the Rock River, so we're gonna see how many bodies get stirred up as well.
That's fun.
Good thing to watch.
That's fun. So. And also during Tyler's soliloquy about his time doing multimedia journalism over there, he did mention the Discord. We have a link to the Discord in our description right here on YouTube. So click that link. You can join the JDF Sports Discord channel. We have a bunch of different channels in there as well, a bunch of different pages you can go to: basketball, football, baseball, whatever sport you like. We talk about in the Discord for JDF Sports, so we would love to see you in there as well. Alex, what you been up to?
School wrapped up. Went on a little Alaskan cruise a few weeks back. Had a good time with that, and then came back and I've just kind of been getting into the groove of summer, which is for me just the occasional gig and a lot of sitting around.
Yeah.
So just trying to stay busy where I can.
Nice. Sounds good. Well, I've been doing a little bit of traveling. Went to a few weddings since I last saw you guys. So went to Orlando. Got to see some friends down there. Got to go to Epic Universe, which was awesome. I loved it. Every minute I was there. Nintendo World. Dark Universe with the monsters, the Universal monsters. Harry Potter as well was incredible. Ministry of Magic there. So much fun at Epic Universe. If you are anywhere near Orlando in the next 6 to 12 months, even, moving forward, I highly encourage you to go to Universal and go to Epic Universe. It's a lot of fun. So had a great time there. But let's get into the NFL. That's what we're here to talk about this evening. And we have a lot of stories to discuss. First of all, Shedeur Sanders, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, is making headlines, but not on the practice field in Cleveland. No, off the practice field in his Dodge Ram. He received a citation for a 101 mile per hour joyride, I guess you could say. Going 101 miles per hour in Ohio. He was going 41 miles per hour over the speed limit. And in Ohio, if you are going over at least 40 miles an hour, it's typically a court appearance you have to attend. However, in this case, he can either fight the ticket in court or he can pay the fine. And potential points as well, I believe, are involved too. With this, do you think this is a good thing for Shedeur to be doing? His rookie year in the NFL, having all this hype around him going in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL draft, and then starting off his NFL tenure with a speeding ticket, going 40 plus miles an hour over the speed limit.
I mean, it's unfortunate that this is because about 2 days ago, I just saw something about how he was making a lot of headway in Browns camps. Like, he was showing himself to be very talented and working well at the NFL level. And then less than 48 hours after I see that, I get the notification that he's getting pulled over going 101 miles per hour. It's like, dog, like, you can't do this. You have too much attention on you. And like, especially just because of who he is with his name and everything that went on with the draft, there is a microscope on him. And when they only spent a 5th round pick on him and they've got 4 quarterbacks, like, if you're going to bring negative attention to yourself and the team and the locker room, you are more expendable than some of the other draft picks that were taken.
Tyler, what you thinking?
I mean, it's just the perfect way to start off with the Cleveland Browns. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, don't do this. You know, a lot of football players speed. A lot of people get speeding tickets, but especially when your name is Shedeur Sanders, you're gonna be under a like he said, under a microscope. Don't be doing this dumb shit. He's proven himself a little bit in training camp. It's gonna be tough to get onto the roster. I know obviously they've got like five quarterbacks on the roster right now. It's still an uphill battle for him. Again, he's a 5th-round pick. Dillon Gabriel got picked ahead of him. Like, even if he is showing out, it all depends on who gets the starting nod. So don't do dumb shit. I wish I could say that on television, is just don't do dumb shit when talk about different safety stuff, especially fireworks safety. But again, don't do dumb shit. We'll talk about another person later on who did dumb shit and is now serving for it. So,
yep. We'll discuss that too. And also, if you're talking about fireworks safety, do not invite Jason Pierre-Paul for that conversation.
Oh.
Thank you.
You know what's funny about that too? As soon as we started talking about fireworks safety at work, we're going to be doing something next week with it. I'm like, so JPP? They're like, yes, don't do a JPP. I'm like, got it.
Yep. Pull up his picture and say, don't do what this guy does. Look at his hand. I would say with Shedeur, he should not be doing that. I mean, obviously, this is a story that should not be coming out in the first few weeks of him being an NFL quarterback. This shouldn't be happening. He's gone through OTAs. He should have gone through rookie minicamp where they're teaching those players. I mean, I watched the Tennessee Titans behind the scenes class of 2025 featurette on YouTube. And it showed what the players go through. It showed they go through a class that talks about how to be a professional, how to practice, things along those lines. So these things happen for these rookies coming into the league. It's not like he's a 2nd or 3rd year player where he's forgotten the code of conduct and things of that nature when it comes to being an NFL player. So he should have had that fresh on his mind, but it seems as though he still has that selfishness to him. He still has that it's all about me mindset. And I don't know when he'll be able to break himself of that. I think it'll just be in the NFL getting knocked around a bit or not getting playing time. I don't know what will wake him up in that regard. But eventually, Shedeur will have to wake up if he wants to be successful in the league moving forward. Having a guy on your team, Deshaun Watson, is a perfect example of things not to do off the field. I mean, you have him in your room. You see what he's going through. To not go down the same path of what Deshaun Watson has done in the NFL, hey, how about you go and do something different? Don't be going out speeding around in cars and all sorts of things off the field. Keep your name out of the news and keep your nose in the playbook. Keep your mind on the team and how to play football and how to become successful and get out of that 5th round status. You're a 5th round player at this point. You need to go out there, prove yourself. Like Alex said, I mean, he's been proving himself pretty well in OTAs so far. We'll see what happens when there are pads on and they can actually hit the quarterback. But eventually he'll have to wake up. And I hope he does it sooner rather than later so he can be actually a successful quarterback in the league and not be as selfish as he is currently. He'll get there eventually. But again, I don't know what's going to wake him up.
You're saying that to a Sanders kid.
Yeah, true. We'll see how it goes. Speaking of players in the league, they've been needing to grow up a little bit, I guess you could say. Jaire Alexander, he is no longer with the Packers, and he signed a 1-year contract with the Baltimore Ravens. So,
Hell yeah.
Tyler, I'd love to get your thoughts, being a Packers fan, losing one of your best corners in Jaire Alexander when he was on the field, and he's going to Baltimore now. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you said it right there when he's on the field. He has not played a full game in 3 seasons. Like, he's had open, way wide open arguments with Brian Gutekunst, not Jeff Hafley, what's his other face? Joe Barry, our old defensive coordinator. He's had those discussions. He does. It's all depends on if he can stay healthy and if he's on the field. I know obviously it's 1 year. It's 1 year, $4 million, $2 million incentives depending on snap counts. if he's on the field, I think it's a great contract. You know what he's making for the Packers? I think it was like $13 million, and he wasn't on the field. He wasn't playing. So hey, we'll take what we can get. I mean, I think with him leaving, I think we should get a compensatory pick, which I'm okay with. I don't mind just sort of releasing him for really nothing. The only thing that worries me is our DB room is now nobody, really. That's the biggest worry for me. But I mean, honestly, for the Ravens, I think it's a great pickup. Again, if he is healthy, if he's on the field, he's a really good cornerback. I think he can hang with a lot of those teams, especially with the Ravens trying to build up their defense more. Obviously, they're in the same division as the Cincinnati Bengals with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So it's going to be a very difficult 2 games right there. But I mean, it's a good pickup. I think it could work out. If it works out, great. If not, it's $4 million. So what? Really, it's like a prove it deal. And if he can't prove it, then he can't prove it and he can't hang anymore. If he's injured again, I think it's going to be one of those things where he's going to be a big what if in the NFL in 5 years to come.
Do you see Matt LaFleur being concerned about the cornerback room and trying to add a piece or two before the season starts?
No, he's stubborn. Gutekunst and LaFleur are stubborn. I know I've heard my buddies talk about trying to get Jalen Ramsey, which even then I don't want to get Jalen Ramsey. I think we could maybe try to get somebody that's on the free agency right now. I don't really know who's on it, to be honest. It's a lot of nobodies. But could I see them picking somebody up? Yeah. Do I think they will? No, because they're stubborn. I know I've been seeing Bo Melton play DB, which that's fucking hilarious. It's just one of those things where it could work. But again, that just shows how stubborn they are, where instead of, picking up somebody in free agency, they're trying to switch a wide receiver to defensive back, which I don't mind it because I like Bo Melton and we've got a very deep wide receiver room. So might as well try to switch one of them over. And he's the best fit since with his brothers playing DB and how fast he is. But I mean, it's one of those things where the stubbornness is sort of reeking through a little bit.
If the Packers could give the Miami Dolphins the same trade package that the Titans gave the Chiefs for L'Jarius Sneed, would you take him?
What was the trade package? I don't remember.
Trade package was the Chiefs received a 2025 third-round pick and a 2024 seventh-round pick in exchange for L'Jarius Sneed and a 2024 seventh-round pick. So there was a pick swap there, and you got a third-round pick.
So getting Jalen Ramsey for a third, pretty much.
I mean,
honestly, I'd take that. Like, just 1 year. I don't know what his contract is right off the top of my head. But, I mean, honestly, I would take that if I was the Packers. Look at his contract right now. So right now he signed a 3-year, $72 million. He's got 2 years left on his deal, or 2025. So 4 years left on his deal. What?
It was an extension.
It was an extension. Yep, signed a 3-year extension. So, I mean, maybe because at the end of it, he's 31 now. He'll be 34 for a third rounder. I mean, I'd take it, honestly. If we could get a fourth with it, or not get a fourth, but if we could drop that down to a fourth, but maybe make it a third with incentives, sort of like the Rodgers deal, where it's like if he plays X amount of snaps or he's named an All-Pro or something like that, it gets bumped up to a third or something like that. I think I'd take it, honestly. The only thing that worries me is just his attitude, but I mean, that's all DBs in the league. Gotta have one that's gonna be a diva. So, I mean, I don't mind it. I think I'd take that. If it's like a second or higher, if it's like a second, no, I don't want to deal with a second, getting rid of a second for that.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
I mean, Jaire Alexander is an incredible talent, like when he's not on the field. So, I mean, you're adding a phenomenal player to an already phenomenal team with just a lot of talent on both sides of the ball and at every position. There's no part of that team that is a massive weakness. Obviously, they have parts that are not as strong as others, but like glaring weaknesses, there's really not any on that team. So, I mean, good for them. I mean, and I think because of the talent of Lamar Jackson and the success that they've had, it's easy to attract players there to do these 1-year deals for low money because people want to win championships. Because I think they have somebody else that's there on like on a 1-year deal, kind of prove it deal.
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
yep.
So I mean, yeah, I mean it could work out. I mean, right now, like, my money is on the Ravens to go all the way this year. So, and also, like, I think he had some kind of relationship with the Ravens' new DB coach, Chuck Pagano, former head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there was some kind of relationship there, or they just knew each other.
It wasn't Chuck Pagano. It was he had a relationship with Lamar because he went to Louisville.
Well, yeah, well,
That's
no.
right.
They had that relationship, and like Lamar was asked, "Hey, what do you think about Jaire coming to the team?" He's like, "Eric, go get him. Eric, go get him. Eric, go get him." Like, he's talking to the
Yeah, I don't know
GM.
about Chuck though.
I think they might just know each other. Like, there was apparently there's something there. Like, just like they've met and like they got along. But I mean, so yeah, I mean, good for the Ravens. If you got to have a secondary team to root for, the Ravens are a pretty darn good one to root for right now.
Well, it was Alex's second team as well last year. So when the Titans were done, Alex was rocking the purple and black.
Purple and gold.
Purple and gold, black.
Till I go cold.
Yep. Interesting. I don't know. It should be a good deal for them. Like you said, it's a prove it deal. It's one of those deals that it's a high risk, high reward, low risk contract, I guess you could say. Because if Jaire stays on the field and is healthy, I think Jaire can do really good things for the Ravens and help them out defensively. I don't know if he can help Mark Andrews catch a football in the end zone, but he can at least defend the opposing team's offense and, hopefully go from there. I like Jaire. I think Packers fans like Jaire. I think Tyler liked Jaire. It just was one of those situations where it was best for both parties to split. It was best for both parties, and I think Jaire can be successful moving forward to the Ravens and potentially have a Super Bowl ring on his hand when he tries to get his next contract next year.
Yeah, and also too, just like you sort of mentioned right there, the best split. I think with us, I think we were trying to work something out with him. It would never have worked. He's openly disliked Goody. He's openly disliked Joe Barry. There's rumors this past year that he sat out because of injury when he really wasn't injured. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like, we don't want to deal with him. Like, it's whatever at this point. We tried to make something work, didn't work out. We released him. Be done with it.
Yeah. Speaking of the Ravens, Lamar Jackson said that the team has, quote, vengeance on our mind. And he also came to the defense of Mark Andrews, saying that I've been seeing my guy be getting talked about, and I really don't like that because he's done so much for us. He's done so much for us, and how people dog him, how people did him, I just don't like that because Mark is still Mark for sure, no doubt. Do you have any concerns about the Ravens going into this next season? And do you think that Mark Andrews can bounce back from that season-ending play, I guess you could call it, missing that touchdown catch in the end zone to potentially, I think it was to win, to at least go up in the game. But the Ravens never had a shot with the ball again after that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think they need to worry about Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews was in a car accident that put him out for several weeks earlier that season, and he bounced back and was a fantastic performer for that team. He's had serious injuries in the past that have knocked him out for long-term things, and he's bounced back and had great next seasons. And I've seen some interviews with Mark Andrews, and like, that guy, he's just kind of like a tough dude. And like, really, it always seems like he has like the right mindset of just like the next play mentality of just like, all right, cool, it happened, forget it, move on, next play. So I think I don't think, other than just because he's getting older, I don't think there's any other reason for them to look at Mark Andrews as any kind of liability. Because, yeah, he's a fantastic player. If we're talking fantasy, he's probably still realistically a, tight end 5 or 6.
Tyler, looking at the roster for the Ravens and seeing the struggle that Mark Andrews had, especially that last play, do you think the Ravens might look more at Isaiah Likely to be starting to get more reps at the tight end spot and kind of work in Mark Andrews to see if he can kind of get that trust back and then kind of make it to where it's more of a 50-50 split between the two?
I mean, yes. You look at what Mark Andrews does. I think he's much more of he's a better blocking tight end than Isaiah Likely. The frame-wise, everything like that, I think he's just better, more physical than him. Isaiah Likely is much more of the wide receiver, receiving tight end stereotype, just a tall, lengthy guy, can block a little bit, but really more there for receiving. But I think it's also the matter of the fact of it's the year after, because he had that Achilles injury 2 years ago, right? So this is his first full year back, or not full year back. Last year was his first full year back. This is his second year back from that injury, where I think he's going to be a lot faster. I think he's going to look a lot faster. I think he's going to look a lot more smooth with that sort of stuff. He's going to be used to cutting on it now. So I think it is going to take a little bit of time, but I won't be surprised if by like week 4 he looks back to himself before the injury he had, and just sort of back to normalcy that he could be with him getting up there a little bit in age. But again, I think it is just a matter of the fact of he was dealing with an injury. He had a lot of stuff on his mind, I'm guessing, with that sort of stuff, and then just some consistency issues, which I think will just come with time again. Just get back into the groove again this year, and again, by week 5, I should be fine. Just splitting 50-50 with Isaiah Likely, and then dealing that 1-2 punch that they have, and then the running game, and just everything they have that can go right for him.
Speaking of injuries, who's the backup quarterback for the Ravens? Because we've had 2 seasons now in a row where Lamar has had no major injury. So, I mean, in the back of my mind, I always think of, okay, well, it's been 2 years. Something's bound to happen.
They've got somebody
Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
Cooper
that's what it was.
Rush. Interesting. Former Dallas great Cooper Rush. Almost starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Almost successor to Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, interesting. So I'm sure they probably want to add another quarterback to their roster if it's just Cooper Rush behind Lamar Jackson.
It's Cooper Rush and it's Devin Leary. I don't know who that is.
No idea who he is.
He was a 6th round pick in 2024.
He will not be on the roster day 1. Week 1, he will not be on the roster. And I would not be surprised if they find another quarterback in free agency or a player that gets dropped between now and week 1 during the preseason maybe. I don't see Leary being...
They bring back Snoop Huntley.
I'm actually surprised Snoop Huntley is not back there yet. Is he still in Miami?
Wait, Miami?
Is he still there?
I think so.
Behind Tua?
I don't know. You know who they could bring in? Speaking of a little bit of UFL, Bryce Perkins showed up for Michigan. Plays a really I don't want to say same play style, a little bit bigger Lamar. I think he could.
There was an edge rusher that just got signed from the UFL. Got signed to a team like within the past week, I believe. That I saw a story about. I don't know who it was. I didn't read into the story that much, but I saw the headline saying that a UFL rusher was getting signed to a team. So it is that time of year where we will see UFL players getting signed just to get looked at, some training camp bodies, and see if they can make it onto a major roster going into the season. But again, I think Lamar Jackson, I still wish him well. Every season, I wish him well.
Have you all watched a single down of spring football?
No, I actually did. Yes, I did.
No,
I watched a bit. I watched the championship. I watched both both championships game, then I watch the championship. It also
You know
helps that my work gets canceled for a minute if it goes into overtime. So I got to root for overtime all the time.
You know what they should start doing? They should start doing, since we're getting into flag football in 2028, which that's another piece of news too that happened since we've been on the air, that the NFL has said that they will allow their players to be involved in flag football in 2028 in the Olympics. But they should have like a flag football tournament at some point during the offseason. I know that, but I mean, make it to where it's a mini version, just getting prepared for the Olympics, but like the 2 years leading up, maybe next year in 2027 and then 2028 it's the Olympics, have a mini tournament or something with NFL players playing flag football, getting used to those rules in flag football. That could be a spectacle the NFL could really sell. If they put it on NFL Network, they would have eyes on it because people, again, we were just talking about at the beginning of the show, in July, people are starving for sports content. Starving for sports content because the NHL's done, NBA's done, MLB's there, but it's regular season still. No one really cares about MLB until September, October. You know, until we start getting into the playoff chase, unless your team is doing really well. I'm a Braves fan. The Braves are not good right now. They're below 500. They got to about 500 when Ronald Acuna Jr. came back, and then they've just been kind of middling since then. I think they're like 28 and 35 or something crazy. But you don't watch baseball. The regular viewer, the regular sports fan does not watch baseball until the playoffs. So you're not caring about any other sport until September, October. Alex brought up a really good point that some people watch the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark's back, baby. Drilling threes.
Getting punched in the face.
Getting punched in the face. A riot almost broke out during a game yesterday. Sophia Cunningham going after the girl that swatted Caitlin in the face. Some people are watching that. I'm sure sports bettors like Alex Pieper are watching that. But other than that, I mean, there's really nothing else. So again, a flag football tournament to get those players prepared, because that quarterback who is one of the faces of flag football here in America, saying that, oh, we deserve to be the players to represent the country because the NFL, they don't have the same rules as flag football. We're better athletes when it comes to flag football, blah, 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 blah. That might be the case. Might be the case.
And they should try out for the team.
Absolutely.
Like
they should try out for the team.
It should be an open thing where everybody comes and shows who should be on the team.
Correct.
And you know who I think would be the quarterback of that team?
Lamar Jackson.
Like, what are we talking about?
It is going to be 2028, though. I mean, that's still 3 years away. So we got to think of other quarterbacks who are going to be out there, maybe even quarterbacks who are currently in college. Look at some of those guys. DJ Lagway, if he produces at Florida, maybe he might be an option for that team in 2028. Cam Ward, potentially, but Cam Ward's not really going to be a running quarterback. Lenora Sellers, potentially, yeah. There's a lot of hype around Lenora Sellers.
Did you see his thing with the NIL stuff? How some of his family members were getting like offers for him to transfer almost $10 million.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's been a lot of overhype on Lenora Sellers.
I think I gotta watch him, but I think he could be the truth. But he was like a freshman last year, wasn't he, or a sophomore? He still got 2 years left or something like that.
He's probably a sophomore. He was probably a sophomore last year, I would assume.
I know South Carolina also a really good freshman. But I can't remember if he was a true freshman. I can't remember if he was if he was a defensive end or if it was him. I don't remember.
I don't either. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes with flag football. Again, if NFL wants to make money in the summer, great. Put together a flag football tournament, a mini tournament, leading up to the Olympics in 2028, and there's some money right there for you. Easy money for the NFL. And to overshadow spring football because no one's watching spring football. And Tyler, while we're talking about the next topic, please get me the viewership numbers of the UFL this season. I'd love to know. What is the highest viewership of a single game in the UFL this year?
50 people.
I mean, is the NBA... no, I'm sorry. Is the WNBA drawing more viewers than the UFL?
I bet that Indiana Fever game a few weeks ago where it was whatever team Angel
Chicago
Reese is
Sky.
on, the Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever, I bet drew more numbers in one night than the UFL drew all season.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so UFL News Hub has this. So before I say it, I want you to guess how many viewers per game across the 41 tracked games was the average.
I'm sure it's going to be some absolutely false number of about 125,000.
I'm going to say it's probably going to be closer to 1 million.
You'd be right. It was 669,000 average overall viewer average of 669,000 viewers per game across 41 Nelson Track games and windows, a 19% decline from the 2024 season average of 816,000. I can't fucking.
Those linear numbers are such bullshit. Linear television numbers are such bullshit.
Alex is asking for the
honestly,
Fever average now too.
Oh God, I have no idea.
So you said 669,000?
Yes.
Was the average viewership of a UFL game this season. 19% drop from last year?
Are they just saying that because Fox is turned on?
Yes,
in,
probably. That's probably
airports?
what it is.
I'm assuming.
Honestly, that's probably what it is. Because again, going back to my work on Sundays when it would go into, because there's a few games where it would go into overtime or would go into extra stuff, it would be like we'd get a show canceled because it would just go too far, and I'm guessing people would tune in for 5 seconds, be like, "Oh, that counts. It's a viewer." Oh, that didn't work. Okay, thank you, Yahoo Sports, for not showing me that.
We're still waiting for the Fever average. Here it goes.
Fever versus New York Liberty. I'm just going to show this one up. The Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty game was the most watched game in WNBA history with 20.9 million viewers.
What's the average? Does it say? Alex is saying 2.2 mil. I'm not sure if that's a guess or if he looked up the number while we were waiting.
I have no idea.
Interesting.
I hate the numbers.
29 million for that one game?
20.9, I think. Yeah.
20.9.
20.9 million viewers.
Caitlin Clark's first WNBA game was massive.
And she's selling out arenas. Indiana Fever are selling out arenas left and right because Caitlin Clark is there.
Yeah,
but it's not all about one woman. Angel Reese says. It's not about all one woman. It's about me as well.
Her and her me bounds.
Did you see? So she has surpassed 500 total rebounds in her very young career. 400 of them have been offensive rebounds. I don't know how true that stat is, but
did you also see the guys who have been betting on Angel Reese missing her first shot? How it was like a trend on TikTok where they went like 7 or 8 days where she missed every single first shot she had in these games, and they kept betting on it. Angel Reese's camp actually had a cease and desist for that betting company, and they took down that prop because of that.
This is what I got. Okay, this is gonna sound bad because I've covered women's sports. I genuinely have covered women's sports. I did color commentary for Carthage a few years ago. I did it for Loyola Chicago a few years ago. It's fun. I love being there watching the games. Some women's basketball games are some of the worst basketball games I have ever seen.
They're walking in quicksand.
It's
compared to
walking in quicksand.
They're scrappy though.
They are. Man, pulling the hair. I mean, like
throwing elbows. Like they fight,
clawing at each other, especially at Caitlin Clark. These players all over the place, left and right, getting after Caitlin Clark. I'm glad that her teammates are actually sticking up for her now, like Sophia Cunningham did the other night.
Yeah, they
swatting without jumping. Yes, thank you, Alex.
They need to have enforcers. They gotta have what's his face from there's a Disney movie that's about a hockey enforcer. What's his name? Don't remember his name. Hockey movie.
Enforcer.
Disney movie, Hockey Enforcer. Let me pull it up.
Just get Tyler Perry out there in a dress up like Medea, and be a woman on the team and be an enforcer. Why not?
I mean, we're supposed to talk about Tyler Perry.
Are we not?
Around women? I don't know.
Okay, never mind. I don't know stories.
Oh, Goon.
Sorry. I'm not in the Tyler
Smith
Perry
hockey.
lore. Okay, we won't get into it on this show. I'm not in that rabbit hole. Sorry.
It's
Never
called
mind.
Goon.
Goon. Yeah, the guy from Stifler's mom. Stifler.
I don't know.
Stifler was Goon, I believe. I think he was one of the guys in Goon. Anyway,
I don't know.
we're kind
I
of.
just remember watching that in college, and then I enjoyed it, and it was fun.
Let's get back to the NFL. This guy was in the NFL at one point. Henry Ruggs III is apologizing to the family of his victim, and hopefully to the dog as well, saying he wished he could turn back the hands of time, quote unquote, and he wants another shot in the NFL. He is eligible for parole on August 6th of 2026, so almost a year away from Henry Ruggs III potentially getting off early for good behavior.
How about no?
Do you think he'll get put on the commissioner's exemption list?
That's an interesting discussion. Should he? It's not will he. Should he get on the commissioner's exempt list after serving 6 years in prison?
How old will he be?
He was a rookie in 2020, so he's probably now 20.
26.
He'd be 26, 27.
26.
Okay, 26.
He's 26. He was born in January 24th, 1999. So he's the same age as me. He's like a month older
He's a
than me.
day. That's a day before my birthday, March 24th, but not the same year, 91.
March 24th.
Did you say March?
January. It's January.
I heard 24th. Sorry.
Yeah, no, January 24th, 1999. So he's a month. He's like less than a month older than me. I mean, he'll be what? Next year he'll be 27. This is my thing about it. If he is, it's a bad look, I feel like, in my opinion.
If he's put on the list?
But if he's not put on the list.
Okay.
If he's not,
Okay.
if he's back in the league. Sorry. If he's back in the league, I think it's a bad look. But there is other players like, what's his face on the Eagles? Defensive lineman. Went to Georgia. Had a race. Did a race with his teammate. And his teammate died. Obviously, Deshaun Watson.
Michael Vick.
There's a lot of Michael Vick. There's a lot of this stuff happens. It's tough to say. If he's on the list, I don't think he will be. I think it's one of those things where it's not talked about.
Will he just be blackballed?
I think he'll be blackballed. I think that's more of a shot than him saying like him being put on the list. I think he'll be just blackballed.
Michael Vick got to come back to the NFL.
I mean, that was dogfighting. I know it's animal cruelty, but
he went and he served his time.
True.
Right.
And that's kind of
remorse.
That's why I was asking the question, should he go on the commissioner's exempt list if he does get out of prison next year on parole? I mean, he's at that point he'll have served 6 years in prison.
I don't think he'll be put on the list. I think he'll just be blackballed a little bit. I think
if he's not on the exemption list, he'll be on a team. Like if he'll at least maybe he won't be on a team, but he'll be brought in
for tryouts.
They'll want to see. They'll want to see what he can do because he was fast. That dude was fast.
And right now he has nothing but time to train.
That's all he's doing is just training. He's just in prison, just training, getting strong, getting fast. Like there's no, and he's got Josh Jacobs out there like letting everybody know that he's in there training. I don't know. I mean, if he's only 26, I would definitely say, like, if he'll be 27 when he gets out, yeah, I would say look for him to be on a roster come training camp. Or come around the time at the end of training camp.
Who was that wide receiver for Pittsburgh? Martavius Bryant.
DK Metcalf.
Martavius
Antonio
Bryant.
Martavius Bryant. Antonio Brown's another
Wasn't
head case. Oh my
what did
God.
Martavius Bryant do? Because he came back to the league after
Smoked
being
weed.
away for a few years. What was it? Did he get arrested for that?
I think he got arrested for smoking weed. I think that's all he
Okay.
wrote.
Okay. Because I mean, he came back and tried to go on a team, but I don't think he was successful.
I know because Martavius Bryant, I believe, just got.
I think he was on a team last year, wasn't he? Or he tried to be on a team last year?
Yeah, he was on the Commanders last year.
That's
Commanders
right.
and Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah, he was suspended for 4 games for the violating the league substance abuse policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm of the mindset that he served his time. Because at the end of the day, what is the commissioner's exempt list for? It's typically for those people who have yet to serve time for their crimes or whatever they did against the league. At this point, I'm sure a lot of people will not even remember that story, especially when he comes out in 6 years. 6 years after all that played out in Vegas. I mean, I don't know. I don't think people hold a grudge like that for so long.
My thing is that it's not, if he had gone up to someone in like executioner style, shot them in the head,
like the healthcare
obviously,
CEO or whatever a few months ago. Like if something
Yeah.
like that happened, then yes, obviously that's
But we're talking about someone who was being stupid,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was being stupid, and his stupidity caused someone to die. It was not intentional, but it was his fault. And he now, one, has to live with that for the rest of his life. And two, he was sentenced, based around the laws of, in Las Vegas. And, he's, for me, it's like you serve your time. And if you show growth and remorse for what you did during that time, like, I mean, that's the whole point of that's like the whole point of the prison system. Like, now he's getting to go to the prison system as a millionaire, which is definitely very different than most. But
I mean, you're not spending money in prison. I mean, like,
yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Hang out the commissary, brother.
I mean, yeah,
They can
but
buy
like,
they can buy MP3 players. They can buy all sorts of shit in there.
well, I think that's money you get on with like good behavior and tasks
No,
you
you can
do
be-
in jail.
It can be deposited by your outside sources.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have much.
Something I
I
learned
don't
very
have much.
recently.
I don't have much knowledge of the
Just learned
prison
that very-
system
Just learned
and
it
being a
very
prisoner.
recently.
Okay.
But I think he served his time. And if a team wants to, if he can come out and show that he still has this talent and this potential that he did as a first round pick, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Out of Alabama.
Yeah. So like, I think if it looks like he's got it, I think someone will give him a chance.
I think I have a Henry
Especially-
Ruggs rookie card somewhere in my collection.
Especially when you look at how like important like fast breakaway receivers are now.
Yeah. Players keep getting faster.
Speaking of fast people,
Yes.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek
Noah
Hill.
Lyles?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles, they were supposed to have, apparently, Noah Lyles came out during an interview recently saying they were supposed to have a race this weekend. They were planning on doing it this weekend. It was going to shut down Times Square. They were going to have billboards all over the place, video boards talking about Cheetah versus Noah Lyles, the fastest man going up against one of the fastest players in the NFL, if not the fastest player in the NFL. Who would win, and it was canceled due to complications and, quote, personal issues between the two. Tyreek Hill actually had a race this past weekend, though. After the race, he held up a sign saying Noah can't do that or something along those lines. Kind of something that Noah Lyles did to Tyreek Hill a few months ago. That kind of made this a story to begin with, and that's what kind of they came up with the race and everything. Do you think this race should still happen? I mean, I think it should. I think it'd be interesting to see. I would love to see it as well. I still think Noah Lyles would win, but it would still be fascinating to watch.
I mean, what was it? Tyreek Hill did a 10.1 second 100 meter. Like that's damn fast. I mean, you were talking, right? Because we talk about the 40-yard dash, right? We talk about the 10-yard split, and you always want that to be about 1 second. And like if you look at that, right, 10.1, that in theory, like if we're looking at the 40-yard dash, which obviously there's not enough time to get up to full speed like you can at the 100 meter, but in a 40-yard, like that would be that'd be like the equivalent of running like a 4.0 something. Like that's insane. That's insanely fast. Like it I don't know. I would like to see it because I think Tyreek Hill has put in the effort to become a talented track runner. And I don't know much about track running, but I would like to know what Noah Lyles is, Olympic 100-yard dash was.
I think there were numbers on it online. I was doing some research beforehand. I think it was less than 10 seconds was his 100 meter, was his fastest 100 meter. And I think it was like closer to like 9.55 or something along those lines. So he is faster. He has recorded faster times than Cheetah has. But
9.8.
There you go, 9.8. But I mean, it would still be interesting to see what would happen on that specific day. Tyler, would you be buying tickets to go see Noah Lyles versus Tyreek Hill?
No, I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm genuinely, I just don't care. I'll watch it. I'll watch it on YouTube. I'm not going to.
I don't know if there are going to be tickets involved. I mean, it might have gone, a prize might have gone to charity or whatnot. They might have done something along those lines. But especially if it was in Times Square, I'm sure it would probably be pretty open for people to see.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just.
I was gonna say I don't know because they just had that big boxing card in Times Square. Took over Times Square, and I think there was about 300 seats that could actually see the fight. You could not see it from outside the fence. They had it all walled up.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that. Again, I think it's cool. I think they should race. They keep talking shit to each other. They should do it. Just man up and just race each other. You're grown men. One's 27, one's 31. Grow up for 5 seconds.
Man.
Just run 100 meters. There you go. Just do that.
I think it'd be fun. If they did it. I hope they do eventually. I hope they do bring it back into the fold. Hopefully this conversation with Noah Lyles, him bringing this into the media, this will kind of stir up something in Tyreek Hill to say, okay, well, let's do it. Let's finally do it. Let's just give the people what they want.
Looking at it, and it looks like people are saying that Noah Lyles is the one that pulled out of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Noah Lyles is the one that backed out.
I wonder what the personal issues were.
I'm going to get beat.
He didn't have the right fingernail polish for that day. I think that's what it was.
And you hate fingernail polish.
I'm
about to show up one week, fully painted up.
Fully painted up, baby.
Just going to say hi, Dillon.
Jesus. Speaking of former Chiefs, KC Wolf, the longest tenured mascot in the NFL for 12 years in a row, is retiring after 35 years donning the KC Wolf costume. Dan Mears is retiring from the Kansas City Chiefs. Funny thing is, Drake Finlan, who went to Tennessee Tech with Alex and I, he was friends with, as they call in the biz, friends with. Disney does that. If you are friends with someone, that means you were someone. So Drake was friends with Awesome Eagle. And he also worked with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Royals in their mascot department, and was a potential fill-in for KC Wolf. So he was over there for Kansas City. It was the year the Royals went to the World Series. And I think the Chiefs had just gotten Patrick Mahomes, if I'm not mistaken, that year. So really good time for him to be in Kansas City. Anyway, but Dan Mears has called it a career in Kansas City. So I'm sure Chiefsaholic, if he was not in prison, he'd be vying for that job. Unfortunately, though, he is not able to get that job because
maybe he did some community service.
Well, he'll need to do a lot more than that. He's done. How much money did he steal? He stole so much money.
Like eight. I thought it was like 8 mil or something like that.
Crazy.
He dropped like 23 banks or something like that.
Did you see that 30 for 30 with Chiefsaholic?
I did not. I wanted to. I should watch it.
It's good. It's good. You need to watch it. That's interesting though. But I mean, imagine being a mascot for 35 years.
Yeah, I nailed it. 847,725.
A lot less than I thought. And also too, if he does, you know what? If he does community service, you know what team it should be for? Denver. It shouldn't be for Kansas City.
Do it for the Raiders.
The Chargers, the Raiders. It's a rotation in that division, but not the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, exactly. Not the Chiefs.
Yep. That's funny. But yeah, 35 years. That's incredible. I mean, I think T-Rac's been. I mean, it's been at least 25.
Has it been the same guy?
I think so. I believe so.
Wow.
I'm sure a Titans person watching this can tell us, but I believe it's been the same guy since day one. T-Rac actually threw me
same guy's been friends with him for you.
Yes, friends with T-Rac since day one. Mm-hmm. Crazy. George Kittle believes that tight ends should make more money after signing an extension recently, 4 years, $76.4 million with the 49ers. He says that he hopes that other tight ends will surpass the amount of money he has made with the San Francisco 49ers. Do you think it seems like this conversation for a lot of positions is a bit cyclical? Kind of like with the running backs, we had that conversation a few years ago, 2 years ago, I believe it was, when Derrick Henry came out to the media, and then Saquon Barkley, and then they moved on to their teams last year, and look at them now. They made a lot of money, and they performed very well last year. So now they're saying, oh, well, they might have that value for a running back. Tight ends, I think it was, who was the tight end from the Saints who went to the Seattle Seahawks? We've talked about him on the show. Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was one of the first tight ends to actually start this conversation because he had fought for his contract to be for a wide receiver instead of a tight end because tight end pay band was lower than a wide receiver. And he had said, well, I line up as a wide receiver this amount of time and as a tight end this amount of time, just trying to justify that wide receiver contract instead. Do you think that this kind of conversation, this George Kittle conversation's having, do you think that is going to allow teams to kind of open their mind to say, you know what, tight end position is worth the money, worth the bag?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I wish we would stop locking it in on position by position, right? I think the most applicable one right now is we're looking at edge rushers, right? Because his name was right there on the tip of my tongue.
Micah Parsons.
Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett too.
Miles
Garrett just got $40 million a year. Screw you, Cleveland Browns. Quit doing this crap. Quit overpaying people, like, just to overpay them. Like, they're doing this just to cause problems within their own division, right? Because now, look at the Steelers with TJ Watt, and look at the problems going on with the Bungles with both their first-round pick and Trey Hendrickson, the sack leader. Like, no one, and that's the thing, and no one expects for either of them to get that kind of money, but there's a precedent set, right? And it's so frustrating. Pay people what they're worth, and don't pay people just more just because they play a position. Like, if you have like a Justin Jefferson, right? Justin Jefferson is making bukus of cash. And that's because it doesn't matter who you put out there as a quarterback. He's catching balls.
Yep.
He makes a difference no matter who's throwing it to him.
And he's proved that the past, 3 seasons now? He's had Kirk Cousins.
Exactly.
He's had Sam Darnold. He's had he'll have J.J. McCarthy. So, obviously.
Right. He has caught balls no matter who's out there. You look at someone like a Myles Garrett, who is out there absolutely wrecking shop. You have Trey Hendrickson, who is the sack leader. J.J. Watt, who the Steelers literally have a negative record when he's not on the field compared to when he's on the field. Like, it's unreal what a huge difference it makes. I'm so tired of being like, I want my position to be paid more. No, we need to just pay people who are worth being paid. And unfortunately, I think the only way that's going to happen is a massive overhaul in the CBA, and there's going to have to be changes with the way salary cap works, and there's going to, look at the NBA with like the max contracts versus the super max contracts versus this contract. But I get so tired of like, because now, like, right, like we had Daniel Jones sign a $40 million a year contract because somebody else signed a $40 million a year contract. It's absurd. Joe Burrow signs a $55 million contract. Okay, cool. I'd say makes sense. But then it doesn't matter because every other quarterback who just got paid the same amount, including Brock Purdy. Like, I can't believe they got Brock Purdy $56 million a year. Like, that's insane. He was making $875,000 a year when he last year. He had a roommate. They were roommates. Like, it's unreal. And I think there's got to be changes, because if you are a game changer like George Kittle, you deserve to be paid. If you are not a game changer, but you're a really good tight end and your team wants to keep you around,
get paid like one.
Great.
Yeah.
Get paid
like a good tight end.
Like a good tight end.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not every tight end one needs to make $76.4 million in 4 years. Period.
Tyler, based on that conversation, I'm sure Kyle Pitts is going to be getting a contract worth north of what George Kittle is making right now, correct?
He shouldn't. Oh my God. You're having me defend Kyle Pitts now? Jesus Christ. He needs a change of scenery. That's what he needs. He needs to go to Pittsburgh. He needs to go somewhere else. He is...
Well, not Pittsburgh. They have Freiermuth there. They have... who's the other tight end they have there?
Reunite with Arthur Smith?
Arthur Smith would not...
well, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
He wants Johnny Smith back. But
yeah,
no, like... I don't know. Kyle Pitts is just so underwhelming that it's like, I don't know what he's going to get. He was talked up to be this big, like, oh, he's the first tight end that we've ever seen that can do all the things XYZ, and he hasn't done anything. I feel like it's just, again, going back to it, pay a player what do you want to pay him. I don't really care anymore. Like, just don't pay mediocre players to be over $250 million deals, because like it just ruins your franchise. Like, I don't know. It's just gonna be one of those things where Kyle Pitts is just one of those players where you're gonna look back at it, you're gonna see in 5 years like what happened to it. I gotta look up his actual stats, because I like just thinking about it. I can't really remember what his stats are, but it's like it just feels like his stats are so bad.
I mean, look at sorry.
So in his career, he is 61 games, just over 2,500 total yards.
How many touchdowns?
10 in his career, 4 years.
So every 6 games, he's getting a touchdown.
His best season was his rookie season with over 1,000 yards. Every single after that, I mean, granted, he's played 15 games, 10 games, 15, 15. That's what he started in each season. Each year after that, he's got 600 yards. That's it. Like, he's not worth it.
He needs to go to tight end U. But
he needs to go to catching school. That's what he needs.
Yeah. I mean, I understand George Kittle's perspective. I understand these players' perspective saying we need to make more money for our position, what have you. I'm along the same lines as Alex. I think that teams should play players based on their value. If they ask for, if a quarterback is out there, Daniel Jones, for instance, and says, you know what, I need to be paid the same amount as the top quarterback in the league, teams should grow a pair and say, no. Here's what we'll pay you. If you want that, great. If not, there's the door. Have fun negotiating with another team. Let another team pay you $40 million a year, but not us. Not us.
I mean, like, look at Trevor Lawrence. Like, legitimately,
yeah.
Okay, you look at I'm just thinking of like the top paid quarterbacks, right? We have Jalen Hurts, 2 Super Bowl appearances and a win. You have Brock Purdy, Super Bowl appearance. Lamar Jackson, multiple MVP wins, multiple AFC Championship appearances. And then you Brock Purdy, or I already said Brock Purdy. And then you have Trevor Lawrence, like Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow, Super Bowl appearance and consistently in the MVP voting. Why is Trevor Lawrence making over $50 million a year?
I can tell you that already. He was number 1 overall draft pick, and he was a generational talent coming out of college.
There's tons of generational talents that never get that kind of money.
Overhyped.
He has a playoff win.
Overhyped.
Does he even have a playoff win? I don't even remember.
He does. 1.
Yeah.
What did they beat? That was the Chargers game, wasn't it? Where they lost?
I think that was the other way around. Chargers came back and beat them.
Was it the other way back? I don't remember.
You're right. Yeah, it was the Chargers. Because
they were up like 3 scores, and then they threw 3 picks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jaguars in the playoffs, I did watch the last time they went to the AFC Championship game against the Patriots the other night. It was on NFL Network.
Was it black and white?
It was not black and white. It was not. It was Blake Bortles season, baby.
2017.
Blake Bortles.
The boat. That photo is burned in my mind of the championship game where it's Tom Brady, and then it's Blake Bortles, Case Keenum, and Nick Foles. That is the best. Like, here's your quarterbacks for the NFC for the championship.
And then Nick Foles comes back and wins the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Leads the Philadelphia Eagles into the promised land. And we get to see Jason Kelce dressed up in his green genie attire.
Mummers.
Yes. Yep.
Mummers attire.
Speaking of Jason Kelce, there was a guy, I saw a tattoo. I don't know if you guys saw this picture. There was a guy, a fan, had a tattoo of Jason Kelce on him, and it was like Jason Kelce in tighty whities, hairy, like the tattoo like had him like have a hairy chest. I don't know what was going on with that tattoo. Look it up because it's very weird to see that. But yeah, Jason Kelce's still a thing. And also Travis Kelce, to tie back to our conversation about tight ends. Travis Kelce is coming back to the Chiefs. No surprise there. He is interested in Super Bowl rings and not in AFC bling.
Cool.
So we'll see if Travis Kelce...
Like you've won 3 of them already.
Yeah, and he gets slower and slower every year. So we're going to have another year of Taylor Swift.
Lost some weight.
He did lose some weight, but he's still going to look slow and old. But we will see Taylor Swift on the screens in the NFL for another year. So some more Swifties will be integrated into the NFL in the 25-26 season. Incredible.
Maybe she'll be this halftime performance this year. She won't be on tour.
I don't think so. They'll pick somebody else.
Especially now she's got all of her masters back. She's big time.
Isn't it Dre? Dr. Dre is leading that, or is it no, Beyonce's
Jay-Z.
husband, Ja Rule?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Yes,
Jay-Z.
not Ja Rule. Jay-Z, yes.
Rule.
I just knew it started with a J. Jay-Z. That'd be an interesting couple. Jay-Z is still in charge of that. The Apple halftime show. Apple Music halftime show. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers finally signed with the Steelers.
Yippee!
Finally happened.
Maybe-
Something that we thought would happen, and it did. Expectations for the Steelers in 2025 with Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
10 games and a playoff win.
Do you think they still make the playoffs? You
Yeah.
do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We won't get my playoff predictions yet, but I don't think so. But I think they still go 500.
I mean, they have to. It's Mike Tomlin. I mean, they have to go
We'll go
500.
positive.
Yeah, the only thing
Also,
that
another good thing about this team, Aaron is not coming into this team with the Steelers and bringing in all his friends yet.
yeah,
We haven't seen it yet. But as of right
Lazard
now,
still needs a team.
true.
he's still
As
on
of
the
right
Jets,
now, though,
technically.
no friends have
Lazard's
been
a free agent.
signed. No friends have been signed to the Steelers since Aaron Rodgers got there. So there's
I
some
just
food
heard
for thought.
someone say it today. Lazard, believe Lazard is a free agent this year.
Hmm.
Could be wrong, but that's what I heard.
Oh, they just cut him. I believe
did?
today.
Oh, the Jets did.
Al Lazard. Yeah, they just cut him the other day. So
Oh, yeah,
We'll
he'll
get a
be a Steeler before
notification
you know
from
it.
Adam Schefter within the next 36 hours saying, "Congratulations, Alan Lazard. You are now a Pittsburgh Steeler." Jim Irsay. This actually happened when we were off the air as well. Jim Irsay passed away suddenly just a few weeks ago. He is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, or the Ring of Honor, for the Colts in week 1 of this season. They all will also be wearing a Jim Irsay decal on their helmets throughout the season to honor him. And his daughters have taken over ownership. One of their the main owner is one of the daughters who has been on the sideline, actually, wearing the headset, listening in on the coaching staff and learning the ins and outs of what's going on the field and getting more of a hands-on approach, which some were kind of giving her flack for that. I don't know why. I actually like it. I like the fact that an owner wants to be that involved, get into it, hear what's going on, and can make decisions that way as well moving forward. If they need to make personnel changes on the coaching staff or what have you, she's there to potentially help with those decisions. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I can see both sides of it, to be honest. But I think it's more of I think I like this version of it where it's like I'm invested and I'm actually paying attention instead of like, who's the Knicks owner? Jim Dolan? What's his name? Is it Jim Dolan? Whoever the hell owns the Knicks?
I think so.
He's the one that built the Sphere, and he fires. He basically, rumors are that he's the one that wanted Tibbs gone, and that whole stuff. As Alex has to go get food.
Alex is making food on the grill, so I took him away for a moment.
Yeah, but I like this because it's actually like you said, like she is invested, she cares, she wants to win, and I think that's better rather than some owners who are like, yeah, I care, and I'm making drastic decisions for no reason.
Yeah.
Where it seems like some owners do that, whereas like they actually are like, okay, I'm paying attention, I know what I'm doing. This isn't the first. She's been on the sidelines for like the past 6 years too. I think I've heard from Pat McAfee show talking about it, and like that's first time. Like she's been in locker rooms, she's been in these meetings, she's talked with the coaches, she knows what she's talking about. So it's one of those things where it's like, cool, they know what they're talking about. So what if they're on the sidelines during game days? Who cares?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like I said, I think it's good to have an owner, especially Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay was very involved in the team. I mean, you could say a lot of things about Jim Irsay. I've talked a lot about Jim Irsay having a drug-riddled past. But he was a philanthropist. He loved giving back to the community in Indianapolis. He was a great owner for that team. He brought the Colts to relevance in Indianapolis. Did a great job building that team from ground up, going there after they moved from Baltimore. So I truly think that he was a good owner, and I appreciate the fact that his daughters were that invested, given what he had given to the city, given to the state, given to the team. I'm glad they're carrying on that legacy in Indianapolis. So I'm sad Wesley's not in here to talk about his Indianapolis Colts in the chat, but yeah, I think that it's good that they're passing the torch to family members who are truly involved and have been involved in the team for several years. So that's awesome to see. Last thing we talked about was the Bengals. Talking about Trey Hendrickson with his contract woes. I don't know what's happening with Cincinnati. Their defensive end that they drafted,
Jameer Short.
He potentially could even sit out this season, not play this season,
the draft,
and then re-enter the draft in 2026. I mean, when's the last time that happened? Has it ever happened?
I don't think it's ever happened. Well, and also too, looking into it again, the Bengals are the cheapest. Talk about bad owners.
Oh God,
the Bengals are right there. But no, the whole thing is over a contract dispute language thing, where if he messes up and does something illegal, basically, from what I've read about it, because again, contract is very legally weird because, of course, they can basically get rid of all his guaranteed money, which is stupid. It shouldn't happen. There's no way that this should be a thing.
True.
But the Bengals just want to get a few extra bucks because they're paying 3 players 95% of their salary. So
crazy. Alex is back with us after grilling Mr. Pit Boss. But the Bengals, or the Bungles, we were talking about them and talking about the defensive end who got drafted, potentially could go back into the draft next year and sit out this season if he'd like. What are your thoughts? Yes. There is a clause.
If he sits out,
there's a clause in the draft now for players that if they decide to sit out from a team for a year,
not sign the rookie contract,
hold out for a year, and then they can re-enter as draft eligible in the following draft.
Can they go back to school?
No, I don't believe so.
They can re-enter the draft, and they can get drafted by every team but the team that drafted them this previous year.
Man, it might be the move for this guy.
Eli Manning saying, I could have done what? Like, Eli is saying, man, this should have been happening back when I got drafted. I would have done the same thing.
I mean, it's good. You got to protect these guys from stuff like this. Like, man, I just don't understand why the Bengals feel like if you're going to do that to like a 6th round, 7th round guy.
Right.
Look, these 1st round contracts are set in stone with how much money they make. Every 1st rounder pretty much gets their contract fully guaranteed. Like, Bengals, quit messing with stuff. Pay the people who are supposed to be paid, deserve to be paid, and move on. And this is the Bengals piss me off because that could be such a good team. But yet, for whatever reason, that organization just always finds a way to just mess it up every chance they get. Whenever things look good and they have a reason to be hopeful, they come in and just train wreck everything. It's awful. And it's not fair to that young man either.
No.
It is so unbelievably unfair to him to do this and to be so beholden to it. This is non-negotiable. Does he? I could be mistaken, but I don't think he has any kind of problems with getting in trouble. He has no character issues.
No.
He has no health problems. They just randomly I don't know. If you tear your ACL, we're just gonna take all your money away. What?
I don't get it. I'm surprised the NFL hasn't really stepped in yet. To say anything about it. I mean, I think they should. I think they should try to address it with the team so that things like this don't happen in the future. But they have that. They have Trey Hendrickson they have to deal with as well with his contract negotiations, him saying that he, at this point, would not mind playing for another team. He had a press conference with reporters at not training camp, but at OTAs.
Yeah.
saying like, hey, I'm still here. I'm trying to get a new contract. They're not coming to the table. I mean, I
Apparently
don't.
they started talking again today, but it didn't. Apparently they are no closer to getting anything.
They're not
figured
going to
out.
be. They're not going to be. But hey, if Trey Hendrickson wants to come over here and have a reunion with Brian Callahan, then
I thought for sure, right? Like I thought for sure when they drafted an edge in the first round that meant that they were trading Trey Hendrickson. Like,
I don't get
crazy.
it. I don't get it. The Bengals need to figure out their stuff, because if they don't, teams are going to be scoring 80, 90 points against them every single game. And that number one offense is gonna just go by the wayside, because it won't matter. It won't matter.
Yeah, because it was insane that they were putting up 45 points a game and losing.
Yep.
Like there were multiple games where the Cincinnati Bengals put up 40 or 45 points and lost. Like that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I know Lou Anarumo kind of ended up taking the hit for that, and he went somewhere else. That's not his fault. They didn't keep a single player when they had the opportunity to. Cheeto Awuzie left to go to the Titans. Jesse Bates left to go to the Falcons. Their other safety went somewhere. I mean, every opportunity to sign a defensive player and keep him around, they have fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
And so he was left with nothing. And when he had all those stars, what did they do? They went to the Super Bowl. They went to championship games. Like, they kept him in it when what's-his-name was out there playing quarterback. You know, like, it's insane.
Browning.
Like, it's the whole – right? Browning, right. And it's like the whole reason that Brian Callahan is now the coach of the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy to think. Hopefully they can figure it out. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Joe Burrow might decide he wants to go somewhere else after a while if this is going to keep happening. So, we'll see. Well, that's our show. A lot of information that got at you tonight, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are, I believe, still one subscription away from 300. So if you're watching right now, you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to it. JDF Sports, you're watching it right here, right now on YouTube. Subscribe to us. We'd love to get that your support there as we continue to grind here on YouTube. We will be doing more shows leading up into training camp, leading up into the preseason and regular season. We'll go back to weekly during the regular season, but we'll be doing shows sporadically still up until about the preseason, and then we will get more regular there. Let's do us on our podcast too. We're everywhere you get your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music. We're everywhere, so subscribe to us there. And that's about it. Anybody else have anything before we get going tonight? No?
Can't wait for football to start.
Can't
That's
wait.
all I got.
5 more weeks, gentlemen, until we get to training camp. Excited for that. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time right here on JDF Sports.